New details in the case of Luis Bracamontes, convicted of killing 2 local law enforcement agents during a 2014 rampage. Now the penalty phase is underway to determine whether Bracamontes will be sentenced to life in prison or death. Fox 40's Doug Johnson has been following this story today.
He joins us live from Sacramento with the very latest. Doug.
Ty and Nikki, obviously the prosecution is continuing to seek the death penalty here, but the defense team is doing all they can to make sure he spends the rest of his life in prison. In opening statements for the sentencing phase of Luis Bracamontes' trial, the defendant waived his right to be in the courtroom. Judge Steve White allowing Bracamontes to return to his cell until witnesses were called.
In your duty, what is the appropriate and just punishment for this crime, or I should say crimes, the defendant committed?
The prosecution explained to the jury plans to let family members of detectives Danny Oliver and Mike Davis speak about their loss, all in an effort to seek the death penalty.
Detective Michael Davis and Danny Oliver are individuals whose death represents a unique loss to our society.
Meanwhile, the defense focused on Bracamontes' life before the October 2014 shootings, hoping to save his life and to send him to prison for the rest of his days.
There was concerns Mr. Bracamontes is working 6 to 7 days a week.
For the first time, the jury heard about Bracamontes' childhood. Growing up in a rural community in the Mexican state of Sinaloa, his attorneys say Bracamontes lived in a 2-bedroom house with no electricity nor running water, with 7 other siblings, and no indoor or outdoor toilets.
He grew up in a family with an alcoholic father and a mother who was continually sliding into depression.
Bracamontes' attorneys also described how his client met and married his wife, Janelle Monroy, moving first to Arizona and then to Utah to work with his brother Hector in Salt Lake City, running their landscaping business.
And we're going to bring some people in to talk to you, people who are upstanding members of the community in Utah.
But after the family was swindled out of money by a landlord who had stopped making payments to the bank, his wife soon started several affairs. Bracamontes' attorney said he fell into a deep depression and started using methamphetamines.
What we want to present to you is what happened next as well, what the methamphetamine triggered in him.
And the prosecution will start to put its witnesses on the stand starting tomorrow. And we're told this part of the trial could take up to another month before Bracamontes is finally sentenced. Reporting live in downtown Sacramento tonight, Doug Johnson, Fox 40 News.
Doug, thanks a lot. And Luis Bracamontes may be facing the death penalty, but California has a very slow to carry out the penalty in the past, as you may know. We did some digging on that. It turns out there are hundreds of people sitting on death row right now, but no one has been executed since 2006. That execution was of Clarence Allen, sentenced to death for arranging a triple murder in Fresno. Now, despite the slowness to carry out the death penalty in the state, the sentences keep coming. Last year, there were 12 death sentences handed down in California. The most recent, Lorraine Hunter of Riverside. She was sentenced to death last December for murdering her husband to cash in on his life insurance policy.
Sac Metro